What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to Mindful Gains. I'm Bryce. Question: you ever hear people talking about ego all the time, or saying, "Yo, his ego is so big," or he's too much into his ego, or his ego's running his life, and stuff like that. But you might not have a clear understanding of exactly what that even means. It took me a while to understand exactly what ego is and how it impacts our lives. It took me a while to be able to understand that. This is some years ago. But now I'm at a point where I can articulate it. And now I got my trusty whiteboard so I can break it down for you too. So you have a clear understanding of what ego is and how it's impacting your life moment to moment. All right. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the stick figures are obviously you or us. You know what I mean? And these are at three different stages in our lives. Okay. And I'm breaking this down for a reason. Okay. This one right here is younger you. This is almost like baby you. Okay. So I want you to be mindful and think about this. When you're a baby, when a baby is born, they don't really have any concept of self-identity. They don't identify with anything in this world. They're fresh out. Their brains are fresh. They haven't been influenced by much and things like that. Okay. So this version of you right here is kind of untapped, unmessed with, and still very pure, I guess I should say. Okay. Now, as you're getting older, all right, and you get to like middle you here, you start picking up things, all right. You start getting labels, is what I refer to them as, all right. You start getting different beliefs. You start picking these things up, different values, um, and things like that, based off of your surroundings, based off of like your family, people who you surround yourself with, beliefs, values. You start watching certain TV shows and certain music and things like this, okay? And these start to kind of shape your idea of yourself, when you were a younger person, okay? Now, why is this key? These start to really cement how you see yourself, okay? And you'll hear me say this word a lot, self-identify. You'll start to realize that you self-identify with certain beliefs, certain values, certain ways of living, and you might not agree with how people live their lives and stuff like that. And it's because you're adopting your own way of how you see the world. Okay. So that's right there. Now, as you're getting even older, now this is kind of stepping into more of adult you here. Okay. So now these beliefs and values and music and movies and all these things that influence you, and now they're becoming more cemented here. Okay. So now we got beliefs, values. I'm going to write it again. TV, music, opinions, all these different labels. Now you got more of them as you're getting older. Okay? More of them. You see what I'm saying? So think about this. When you were back here as a baby, you didn't have all this stuff going on right here. These are things that you've picked up as you've gotten older. These are things you've picked up from your parents. These are things you picked up from your friends. All right? And we become very attached to these. Now, this is how I'm going to segue into how this is affecting you, how your ego is affecting you. What I'm showing you right here, this is your ego, the ring around you. You notice there is nothing here. You didn't have this at first. The ego starts to get developed as you're getting older, okay? And the more labels that you pick up, all right? So here you can see as you're an adult, you got so many different labels, and now your ego is big. Now your idea of yourself, how you identify, has become a lot bigger, a lot grander. Okay. Now, why am I saying this? I'm telling you this because anytime somebody, let me go and break this down for you a little bit deeper. So now, this is you over here with all them beliefs and all those things that are cemented in you. Now, anytime you get somebody over here, anytime you got people over here kind of chatting, gossiping, got an opinion about you, anytime somebody got something to say about you, it affects the idea that you have of yourself. This ring around you is your ego. That's the idea you have of yourself. The idea of you. That's what this is. Okay. So anytime somebody is saying something or doing something to you, it's attacking this idea that you have of yourself. It's not necessarily attacking you. Now, what I mean, I'm getting a bit spiritual here right now. It's not attacking that little baby version of you that I showed you earlier. This is baby you. Remember that when they didn't have any labels? You got to get back to that mindset, that purity, okay? And whenever somebody is saying something to you, you got to realize that they're attacking, not even that they're attacking, that the statement or the action that they're doing is attacking that idea that you have of yourself. It's not actually attacking that authentic spiritual version of you, your authentic self. That's not who these words are affecting. They're affecting the idea that you have of yourself. That's why we take things so personally in life. All these labels and all this shit that you done picked up in your life, anytime somebody got an opinion about it or anytime somebody may say something, you're going to take it on as an attack. You're going to feel like, wait, I listened to this music. I love that movie. I thought I was a handsome person. And if somebody says, no, you ugly, or I don't like that song, why you listen to that? Why you listen to this certain type of, like, you get offended because you identify with all this stuff. You identify with certain music. You identify with certain TV shows. You identify with certain beliefs and certain values. So anytime somebody might have a different way of thinking or they might have an opinion about those, you take it personally. That's what's happening. Your ego is getting attacked. Now, I know this is a deep concept. I know it may not be the easiest thing to kind of understand, but hopefully I'm kind of making some sense here to you. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and get my little trusty whiteboard cleaned up here for you. Because once I learned this was like life-changing to me. Okay. Now that we kind of have an understanding of what ego is, it's how you self-identify. I want you to understand how this affects you moment to moment. Okay. I tried to give you an example a moment ago. Anytime somebody's talking about, or anytime you have this idea or this perception that somebody's talking shit about you or has a strong opinion about you, it's affecting that idea that you have of yourself. It's not truly affecting you on a soul level here. Okay. So you got to remember that when somebody's saying something about you, think about how if somebody was saying something about that baby, that newborn baby who was pure and didn't have the labels and didn't have all these things that they had picked up, the baby wouldn't give a damn, would they? Because they're not so attached to all these things that they've picked up. So that's what I want you to understand. Stop taking things so personally. Understand what your ego is and how it's driving your reactions to things, how it's driving pretty much how you move through life. And the more that you can get awareness on this, the more you can understand that this ring around you, you know, this ego is not really you. The more you can understand that, the better control you can have over your life, the better control you can understand where your decisions are coming from. It's a very powerful, you empower yourself when you do this. You take your control over your life and you're not driven by these conditioned ways. Conditioned. This is very powerful here. We are conditioned. So we have to understand, it's like Neo when he stepped out the Matrix. You know, we have to understand that we've been conditioned. So you want to start getting curious with who you are, why you think the way that you think, so that you can have a better sense of control of how you operate moment to moment. Now, I hope this video provided you with some value. If it did, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave me some comments and let me know what you thought about this video. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of my other videos. I'll leave one up here for you. All right. And I'll see you there. Peace.